Hi, friends. This is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Shadowdark: The Western Reaches. Kelsey Dionne's new Kickstarter, which is following up her massively successful Shadowdark tabletop role-playing game, tabletop RPG, tabletop role-playing game. And let's get into this. So, first of all, this is extremely complicated. So, I just wanted to let you know. I you know I edit my videos, but not in a way anyone else does. So basically, a lot of people just kind of cut their videos and then they edit them, like literally cut out breaths and do all this editing and do layovers. I don't do any of that, right? But I do. If I don't get a video right on the first time, I will delete it. And I had to delete my first video about Shadowdark Western Reaches because I think this is extremely complicated and complex, and I want to get into this. All right, so let's go. All right, what is happening with Shadowdark Western Reaches? So this is really fascinating. So it blew through its funding goal. I think it's already passed its funding goal. And so essentially it made $1 million in 24 hours. I think it made $1 million in like 5 hours, right? It's got over 6,500 backers and it's at 1.2 million, and I don't even think it's 48 hours old, right? It's on track. It's going to be funded, and it's on massively successful track. So what does that tell us? First of all, it tells us that the Shadowdark community is very happy with Kelsey Dionne. It also means that Kelsey Dionne is still the king. The king of the OSR, right? She really has conquered all foes. There is no one in the OSR who can hold a candle to her. She's easily surpassed DCC. She's surpassed Troll Lord Games. She's surpassed OSE. She's surpassed Lamentations of the Flame Princess. Okay. She has surpassed just everything in the OSR space. Far surpassed it, right? So the Shadowdark community is very happy with her, and the OSR community is very happy with her, and they are backing her. Okay. So this is interesting. So first of all, what's happening here, right? And I really this is my second go at this, but I think I got it this time. Okay, what has Kelsey Dionne really done, right? That's innovative and fresh and new in the tabletop role-playing game space. Well, it certainly isn't Shadowdark. There's really nothing new or fresh about Shadowdark. Shadowdark is no different than 100 other D&D clones, right? D&D retro clones. There's nothing really special about Shadowdark itself. But there is something special about Kelsey Dionne. One, she's brilliant. Two, she's engaging. And three, she really is innovative. And I want to talk about what she actually innovated. So what did she actually innovate? Well, I think what she actually innovated, it certainly isn't Shadowdark itself. The game is... frankly, there are definitely better D&D retro clones. I don't think that's a debatable subject. There's absolutely better. I would say Index Card RPG is better. I would say probably Black Box, definitely. Dave, no question. All right. Okay, but she did innovate something. Here's what she innovated. What she innovated was the relationship, the tabletop role-playing game relationship between creator and community. Okay, so and specifically, she did it against Dungeons and Dragons, right? So Dungeons and Dragons set the relationship between creator and community, right? With Gary Gygax. So let's talk about what happened with Gary Gygax and what the relationship was. So Gary Gygax set the relationship of creator and community. He, the creator, would sacrifice brutally, massively, frequently endlessly for the community and give the community everything and give wealth to the community. Kelsey flipped that, right? She flipped it so that the community gives wealth to the creator, right? Now here's the kicker. Gary did not die rich. Gary got virtually nothing out of Dungeons and Dragons and suffered incredible loss. So what did Gary lose? Well, he lost his marriage. He lost control of Dungeons and Dragons itself. He lost control of himself for a while. It took him a while to get that back, and he lost credibility as a person, not as a game designer, for a while. Now, by the time he died, he had restored quite a bit of that, right? But the reality is, I don't think he ever was wealthy. I don't think he ever made a lot from Dungeons and Dragons, right? And he got severed from it pretty early on, and he just kind of had to wait around, right? So, but what did he give the community? Well, he gave the community books, printed books on every shelf in the world, on every type of bookstore in the world. Literally chain bookstores, literally large-scale bookstores. Every FLGS carried his books, and those books were given to the community, right? Kelsey flipped all of that, right? You cannot find her book anywhere, right? Like right now, you can order it on her website. Literally for months, I would say the majority of the time that Shadowdark has been out, it has not been in print, and I have literally never seen it on any shelf for sale anywhere. You know why? Because if I had, I would own it, but I've never seen it anywhere on any shelf, right? She did not give the community books. She is now launching a huge project, and you still can't buy Shadowdark on FLGS shelves. Okay, I'm in southern Philadelphia. I'm in south section of Philadelphia. We have ridiculous amount of FLGSs, and these FLGSs are extremely well stocked. You can't buy Shadowdark on the shelf anywhere. She never supplied the books to anyone, right? And both times when I was and each time I have played Shadowdark, actually, one time I played Shadowdark, the Dungeon Master did not have a physical copy of the book, right? The second time, he did have a physical copy of the book, but not a single player at the table did. Fascinating, right? Like, and these were not poor people. Some of these people were quite rich and had literally traveled to the convention. Some of the people had $200 worth of dice in front of them. The book is almost unfindable, right? You cannot get the print book. So Kelsey is quite wealthy at this point. She is literally traveling the country, going to conventions. Her first Kickstarter made over $1 million, right? And Arcane Library has been selling the PDF for like 2 years, right? With a very small staff. And so at this point, I believe there's strong evidence that Kelsey Dionne has probably right now has more wealth than Gary Gygax got in his entire lifetime, right? And she's about to really cash in with this next one, right? Now, is that unfair what she did? No, actually, I think it's a really interesting subject. That might sound like what I'm saying is harsh, but I would really tell you, think twice. And the reason why is it is quite arguable Gary paid too high a price. Paid way too high a price. Yeah. Honestly, should he have lost his marriage for D&D? I don't think so. I think that was a bridge too far. And I think it's very, very arguable that without D&D, he definitely would not have lost his marriage, right? So that's terrible, right? And that's too high a payment. The other thing is he should have been wealthy. He made a massively successful game. But Gary's model was, I get nothing, the community gets everything. And I really feel Kelsey has flipped that. She's getting everything, but the community is getting nothing. They're printing their own books, they're scrolling on their phones, and not for like a innovative, fresh, not for a community that wants to do that. This is old school, right? Like, if any community in the world wants a print book, it's OSR, right? Now, but the OSR is not angry about the OSR community is not angry about this. They love her. They are more than happy to heap wealth on her and allow her to live a very comfortable life. They're willing to have nothing while she gets everything. And the D&D community was very comfortable with our relationship. Gary sacrificed everything. Gary got nothing, and we got everything, right? And so when you look at Shadowdark, the Western Reaches, and you look at Kelsey Dionne, her real innovation is changing the dynamic of a tabletop role-playing game creator, right? So Gary's model was sacrifice constantly, brutally, frequently, without end for the community, give them everything. And Kelsey's is the exact opposite, right? The community sacrifices. They do their own printing, right? They do without for her and give her everything and just shower her with wealth. That's pretty wild. That is an incredible innovation. That is truly innovative. And it's something that no other tabletop role-playing game creator has really been able to do ever. Kelsey Dionne is brilliant. There's no two ways about that. And she is truly a conquering titan in the tabletop role-playing game space. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Absolutely not a thing more, absolutely not a thing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.